Well, good evening and a very, very warm welcome to Camelot Castle TV. Now tonight, and before we get started here, I want to make it absolutely clear that Camelot Castle makes absolutely no financial recommendations whatsoever, and we certainly would never recommend any investments to anybody. But tonight, we are very, very honoured to have joining us here at Camelot Castle somebody who I believe is at the cutting edge of the crypto and NFT explosion that is occurring around the world. He is also known in Britain for being the pioneer and champion of the rave dance movement in the 90s. And of course, he is one of Britain's most successful independent filmmakers. I'm talking, of course, about none other than Terry Stone, who I'm going to bring on screen now. Terry, an honour to have you with us. For those watching that are not familiar with your films, which of your films should they watch first?
I think I need to go on to Amazon and order all of them. But no, I'd say the most recent ones are Once Upon a Time in London, which is on Netflix at the moment, and Rise of the Foot Soldier Origins, which is on all platforms. So there were a couple of films that we made recently that I starred in and produced, and just the way the world's been going, it's just become more and more digital. So the way that the industry's changed now, it's sort of it's as if it's ready to be disrupted again by crypto and NFTs. So that's obviously something that I've been pursuing over the last year.
Well, you are a bit of a disruptor. I mean, you disrupted the entertainment business with the rave culture. You've disrupted what I would call the independent film business by basically deciding, right, I'm just going to make films anyway, and you've made, I think, 30 films now or something, which is a tremendous achievement. 33 films. Rise of the Foot Soldier is, of course, fabulous. I really liked Once Upon a Time in London. Of course, you and I were introduced by young Alfie Best, who, of course, I think his son is in the film, isn't he? Once Upon a Time.
So, and he done a great job as well, John. I'm sure you remember.
Yeah, very good. Very, very good.
He did get a little bit carried away, though. He did actually want me to punch him in the face. And I did say to him, it's the movies, we don't actually do that.
Well, he's certainly. I wouldn't be punching Alfie Best Jr. in the face because he's got a bloody strong right hook, and of course he's doing very well as an independent boxer. But listen, we're not here to talk about the film business tonight, and I want to be completely open. I am not recommending this as an investment to anybody. I'm going to put my cards on the table. I have had a modest punt on your new crypto venture. I have to say, I don't understand it, but I know you, and I know you well enough to know that if you say you're going to do something, you're going to do your best effort to make it work. And just explain to our viewers, Filmcoin, and please assume that we're not being watched by world experts in crypto or NFTs. So over to you, Terry. What is it that we're Arena and I have had a little punt in?
Yeah, so with Filmcoin, how it came about was pretty much what you said earlier. If you wanted to get money for a film. People access the UK government tax schemes. They've removed those now, so getting money for independent films is tough. And the only other way of getting funding is if you go to a streaming platform, a studio, or a broadcaster, and they're traditional. They've got 10 people sitting around the table, basically telling you what they want you to make. So that obviously strips away the independent nature of their business. So, I got contacted by a tech company, and they said, would you like to explore the use of NFTs to fund a film, and I said, "What's an NFT?" So I know about as much about crypto as you and me do, John. And I know a little bit more now, but only because I'm in the business. But before that, I knew nothing about it. Didn't make any sense to me. But
so you're actually going to fund a film. Sorry to interrupt. You're actually, as I understand it, going to fund a film through crypto.
Correct. Yeah. And what we and how the business evolved was it started off by being, let's do some NFTs to help fund film, but then somebody said something quite rightly. What if you don't sell enough NFTs, then you won't be able to make a film? So what I liked about NFTs when I done my research was a lot of people went on, a lot of music artists, a lot of actual proper artists that paint pictures and stuff. They Banksy, Damien Hirst, they're all doing NFT versions of their art, and the good thing is it's empowering the creators, because obviously normally if you create something and sell it, you don't get paid again. With the NFTs, you get paid in perpetuity. So every time it changes hands, you get a 10 or 15% clip on whatever it changes hands for. So it does mean that if you create something, you get paid for it in perpetuity. It doesn't just get one payment and it's gone. And I was just talking to these guys, and I said, well, nobody's really done any crypto in our space. There are crypto coins that are movie related, but none of them fully fund feature films. So I said, look, what if we did a film coin, fuse it with NFTs, build our own platform, and start making movies? And obviously I've got a huge stack of content that I've developed in this.
I just want to stop you, Terry. I just want to stop. We're getting an echo, and somebody says that you may be listening to it while you're talking. That you've got it. Have you got the? Have you got? Is it playing on your thing as well? There.
Yeah, let me just put an earpiece in. Hang on.
Yeah, that would help.
Is that better?
I can hear you perfectly. I'm not getting feedback, but people that are listening are saying that they're getting a little bit of feedback. So we'll see if that's better.
Okay. Well, I've just put an earpiece in, so hopefully that'll be clearer.
Mm-hmm. Good. So carry on.
So that's essentially why we got into doing film coin and fusing this NFT and films into one thing. And I think the good thing about doing what we're doing is, because it's all in the blockchain, it's transparent and it's instant. And what it does, it gets rid of a lot of these third-party, distributors, sales companies. So it basically does sort of strip away all of these people and gives the money back to where it needs to be.
No, I understand that, and what I rather liked here is, number one, I thought it was very pioneering of you to fund the making of a film through crypto. The second thing that I liked is how, once the film is made, as I understand it, it can be distributed using the NFT, which actually bypasses
the platform. Yeah,
it actually bypasses the what do you call it? The distributors, which of course many of the Hollywood distributors are now creating a problem for people that want to express or speak freely. So, for instance,
absolutely,
if you make a film in Hollywood that perhaps does not pander to the existing narrative of what Hollywood wants to say, then you don't get distribution for that film.
And that also doesn't get funded either.
No.
So what we're doing, as I said, is we're empowering independent filmmakers to actually do films that the way they want to make it, without any interference, and then basically saying to the public, if you want to watch this film, you can watch it via our platform.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a very, very powerful idea. Now, if people want to read into this, and if they want to study, is there a website that they can go to, or is there a way? Yeah. I'll post something up on my Facebook, so that if you want to look into it, you can. Please understand, I'm not recommending this to anybody. If you put money into FilmCoin and you lose it, that is your lookout. In the same way it's my lookout. I've taken a punt. And the reason I've taken a punt, to be honest with you, is not that I understand it, is that I believe in you, Terry.
No, I appreciate it, John. Thank you for your support.
And so does my wife. And, it may work out, it may not work out. A lot of these coins do very well. I had a friend who put 10 grand into a coin. Well, I think you met Rachel.
Yeah.
She put 10 grand into a coin the other day. She made herself 600 grand. So
wow.
there are these outrageous success stories out there. I hope that yours is a very successful thing. But what would you say to somebody checking it out? What should they do? How can they check?
Well, I think they just need to go to the website. It's filmcoin.io. The white paper's on there. The legal opinions on there. The light paper's on there. But I think the most important thing when you look to invest in crypto is you want to make sure that the founders of the business are locking up their coins. And a lot of the founders of the unscrupulous coins don't do that. And what normally happens is you go and you buy the coins, the founders sell theirs, and then you're standing there holding the coins, and the founders have gone off into the sunsets.
Is that what one calls a pump and dump?
Yeah, absolutely, or a rug pull. So that these things happen every day, and this is obviously why the authorities are looking to regulate the crypto world, because it stops these unsavory characters doing these things.
No, well, I think it's one of those things that one does have to be very, very careful of anybody suggesting a crypto, and you really have to look into who the people are that are behind it. I mean, I suppose I'm a little bit sort of lucky here because we know each other, and I've got a slight advantage, obviously, because we met socially through Alfie, and that's made me feel comfortable. But obviously, I mean, people would have to make their own evaluation of that. What I love about this is that it opens. I mean, I lived in Hollywood and worked in Hollywood for 6 years, and I know just how hard it is to get the right messages out. We tried to warn people through movies. I wrote some movies about the dangers of Ritalin and the drugging of children. And frankly, these movies, if they'd been made, they would have saved thousands of lives, but they would have cost the pharmaceutical companies, billions. Of course, it was nearly, I got this close to getting one of them made, and Dolph Lundgren was going to be starring in it, and it was going to be a good production. But right at the last, the studio pulled the rug, and they said, we will not distribute this because we're going to lose our pharmaceutical advertisers. And I'd worked for 4 years, written the script, gotten the actors involved, gotten some top producers involved, but simply because the powers that be did not want the truth about Ritalin. And, they say these kids have got ADD, ADHD. It's absolute bullshit. It's a made-up thing. And then they give them this drug Ritalin, which is like an amphetamine. It's actually crystal meth for kids, really. And billions of dollars of this have been sold, but Hollywood did not want that film being made. Now, the beauty of FilmCoin is that film today could get made. Because the vested interest, they can't do a thing, because once that film is made, as I understand it, and correct me if I've got it wrong, but you can actually distribute that film one NFT at a time. So you can sell me that film, and basically you are your own distribution platform. And there's a way of the filmmaker getting their money back. And actually, I was outraged because, even with Netflix, right? Your movie is on Netflix, right? What does Netflix charge somebody to watch your film?
Well, the interesting thing about Netflix is they obviously charge every subscriber a monthly fee, but they license or fully fund content. So what they don't do is put they don't do a pay-per-view system.
Oh, I see.
Which, if they did, it'd be fair, because that means if you've got a film and it goes to 216 million homes, and say you get 10p or a pound a watch, then you make a lot of money. But they don't do that. So they either buy out the film, or they rent the film for a year, 2 years, or 3 years, and then it doesn't matter how many people watch it. You just get paid one fee.
Right. My friend here says the actual address is thefilmcoin.io. Is it the Filmcoin?
Right.
Filmcoin.
I'm just gonna. Yeah, No, it is. It is the filmcoin.io. Yeah,
It's
apologies.
the Filmcoin, is it?
Pardon?
Is it the Filmcoin?
The Filmcoin. The film. Yeah, the filmcoin.io. That's the website. Yeah.
There we go. Good. Well, I thought it was interesting enough to have a go, and have had a little bit of a punt, and we'll see what happens. And if it works, we'll have a laugh, and if it doesn't work, we'll have a laugh, because that's the attitude that I think you should take to any of these, what I would call pioneering areas. But it could be a potential breakthrough, and I think it's also an idea. Victor Hugo said, what was it? I forget what he said. Is greater than standing armies is the power of an idea whose time has come. And
absolutely,
when you get the right thing at the right time, it can be really, really fun. And the making of films should be fun. It should not be a bloody nightmare to get films funded. And I think this is going to open the door for many other filmmakers. Now, is this only going to fund your films, or will other filmmakers go to use it to fund their films?
No, I mean, we launched it purely because as a funding platform for independent films, and another way of distributing and monetizing independent films. So for me, obviously I've got a slate of movies that I'm going to put through Filmcoin, and we're open for business. So I think once we've done a few and people have seen it and they've seen how successful the films are, and the model that we're doing works, I think the whole world will be our oyster.
And there really is nothing else out there at the moment, to my knowledge. I mean, maybe there is competitors of yours, but have you come across anyone else doing something similar?
There are other coins, but they're not doing what we're doing. So we're the only film coin NFT platform / film production in the world doing what we're doing. So if somebody decided tomorrow, I'm going to copy that idea, it's a good idea, they've got to do a lot of work, and they're probably a year behind us.
Yes. Well, we are joined on the broadcast by a Danielle Marsden, who's a beautiful young lady from Wales. And she says, if you need somebody to perform in your movies, she's volunteering. So there you go. And
well, follow me on Twitter and send me your details. And obviously, when we're casting, we will definitely, if you're right for a part, get you in.
Well, Danielle, you see, how about that? You never thought that was going to happen. Now, somebody says here, someone is making a film about the Canadian truckers' protest, and this could be a great way to get their side told. See, David, you're getting it. If you went to Hollywood today, right, and you said, I got this great movie about these freedom fighters, right, in Canada that are going up against the government, and I need a proper Hollywood budget to tell that story, you're going to get the big FO. I'm sorry. They are not going to make that film in Hollywood. No way. Hollywood is controlled by the deep state. Simple as that. And probably reality by China. So the fact of the matter is that film, David, is not going to get made. But with Filmcoin, you see, that could get made. And that's one of the reasons why we've had a little bit of a punt stroke investment on this. That's why we've done it, is because it's not just, okay, maybe we'll make a few quid. It's not that. What we're doing is we're validating and getting behind a disruptive philosophy. And, certain things shouldn't be disrupted, but certain things should. And if something should be disrupted, then for God's sake, disrupt it. And one of the things that should be disrupted, I mean, I don't know, we always used to have a problem with the films that we were distributing, trying to retrieve money from foreign distributors. Have you run into that one, Terry? You know, you do.
Yeah, normally sales companies go bust, distributors go bust, they run off with your money, you know, or you have to audit them. You know, you spend your life just chasing people for statements for money that they owe you. And what I like about this model is as soon as any sales are generated, you get paid, and it's all on the blockchain. So nobody needs to send a statement or an invoice or audit anybody. It's all there in black and white.
Yeah, they can't cheat, and that's very important because it's all on the blockchain. And
that was the big thing for me, John. It's, you know, we sanitize this business. It's, you know, it's all in black and white. It's all on the blockchain. Everybody gets paid as soon as any revenue is generated. So that was what was important for me.
And it's instantaneous, isn't it? Because, you know, basically as soon as that film is cut and ready to be distributed, you don't have to wait for a distributor to be in their time, whatever. You choose when you distribute it. You know, normally people don't realize this, but if you're with a big studio, you don't choose when that film gets distributed. If you want to go up against Mission Impossible 3, you can't do that because they've got certain key weekends that they do little deals between studios, or we won't put out our good film this weekend if you don't put out your film that weekend.
And the other thing that they do, John, as well, is they sometimes buy films and just sit on them.
Oh yeah,
and never release them.
Yeah, well, I think that's basically what happened because my script got optioned, and then, you know, the one that was going to expose the psychiatric drugging of children, and I couldn't do anything with it for years because they just sit on it.
Right.
So they see a message that is aligned with what I would call the sovereign impulse or freedom, which is our whole thing, as you know. And all of a sudden, you know, a writer can work. I mean, I spent 2 years. I hired, you know, I think we had 4 other sub-writers on the script. I mean, Christ, number of rewrites. I mean, you know what it's like, Terry. I mean, you know, and people don't realize what goes into getting that script right. And it was right, and it was a great film, and it got totally kiboshed. And funnily enough, I spoke to the producer the other day. It was a mutual friend of ours, Julia Verdon, who's one of the top English film producers in LA. And I said to her, can you now see how relevant that script is today? And she said, my God, absolutely. We should get it out of the cupboard again. And I said, but, you know, it still wouldn't get made because it still exposes the evil forces in the world. I've lost your, I can't hear you, Terry, for some reason. Did you change something? No. Let me call back in on the link. I'm afraid we temporarily lost. Oh, here we go. He's coming in again. There we go, Terry. How is that?
Yeah. So I don't know what happened there. I lost you. I was just saying, John, never say never. You never know what could happen.
You never know what can happen. You never know what can happen. Well, yeah, I mean, it's still, you know, a great story, of course, is timeless. And, you know, I've since that time, I've come up with a couple of other ideas that I've been fascinated by. And, but I've always felt, you know, I'm never going to cut a break in Hollywood because the stories I want to tell, they are never going to tell. So if ever you've sort of felt as a filmmaker, you know, if there are any filmmakers watching, I'm sure there are because we have a broad audience. If you've ever felt as a filmmaker, you know what, I've been running into barriers here. And it's just, listen, there's nothing wrong with an industry being tough. You know, it's good that industries are tough. The restaurant industry is tough. You know, to be a top restaurant, to be a good hotel is tough. But there's one thing tough and there's another thing rigged.
Right.
And I think the film business has been rigged and corrupt. And what I love about what you're doing is you are basically bypassing the criminals in Hollywood, and you're saying basically you're doing a big FU to them, and you're saying, you know what, we're just going to do it anyway. And I think that's a beautiful thing, and I really, really wish you luck with it. I've put the website up if any of you want.
Thanks, John.
Please understand, and I'm going to say this again because I'm sure somebody will be out there saying, well, John is pitching this or John is pitching that. I'm not. I've done it. I've introduced you to Terry. I like to share good things with my friends. This may be a good thing. This may not be a good thing. You decide. If you make money, good luck to you. If you don't make money, I will. You're not going to blame me for this one. Okay, so I've made it absolutely.
Are you not?
Yeah,
John, are you not going to bet your castle on it?
No, I wouldn't, Terry. I wouldn't. But you know, no. I mean, I think you something like this. If you want to have a punt, you have a punt, and punt money is punt money. That's what it is. And but I do think the concept. Listen. In 3 or 4 weeks' time, when's this coin going live? By the way, by the way, how long do people have to act on this?
Well, they can register on the website, because we're going to do another small discounted round before the weekend, and then the actual film coin goes live on the 28th of February, and the exchange we're going on is a centralized exchange, which basically means it's one of the best exchanges to be on. And you know, there's a lot of due diligence that's gone on for us to get onto this platform, and you know, that also gives people a level of comfort to know that we are actually doing this properly. But the websites and the exchange is called FMFO, FMFW.io, and it stands for Free the Money, Free the World, John. So I thought you'd like that one.
I like that. Free the money, free the world.
Yeah.
I like that very much.
Yeah.
A few of the big crypto players in with you, haven't you, as I understand it?
Yeah. There's a company in New York called Light No Media. They're a huge operator in this space. There's also
isn't there some person's daughter involved? Are we allowed to talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Danish Chowdhury is the ex-CEO of Bitcoin.com. He's involved in it, and he's also it's his exchange that we're going on, the FMFW. And there's a lady called Courtney Semmel, who's Terry Semmel's daughter. Terry Semmel founded. He was one of the co-founders of Yahoo, and he was the chairman of Warner Brothers for many years. So we have got a great team of people, and all the conversations we've had have been really positive, and I think everybody excited about it, because it's something new, it's something different. And what we're basically doing is opening up the world and saying, if you want to get involved in the film business on Monday, you can get some film coin, and if you want to get out on Friday, you can get out on Friday. Whereas
what you're saying is somebody can either do the discounted entry now, so basically they get their coins at a slightly discounted rate if they do it now, or they just wait till when and buy it.
Yeah, Monday. So they can go on Monday. They can actually go on chain and they can actually physically buy them. Some people may have Ethereum, Bitcoin, or they may already be in the crypto space. And if they are, when they go on the exchange, they can obviously buy their crypto. With their crypto, they can use fiat. They can transact however they want. So what we're trying to do with this, John, is to make it accessible to everybody. So if you're not a crypto geek with a crypto wallet and you don't really understand it, but you'd like to get involved, obviously if you register on our website, then when we do another discounted round, we send people an email and say, we do a 10% discount on what the price it currently is, so people will be able to buy it with a credit card, and we can
I put the website there. I'm just showing people on the that's the website. So you go to the website, you read all about it. There's 3 different, I think, ways that you can do it. You can, I mean, to be honest with you, I think our strategy is we're going to hold for at least a year, because
all the founders, i.e. us, we're locked in for 24 months. So people don't normally lock themselves in for that long unless they're committed to it. So and to be honest, we're looking at this as a business. We're looking at it as a an ongoing business. I want to make films. You know, they want to do, you know, crypto. We're joining forces. You know, I'm not a crypto geek by any means, but I do understand the benefits of the blockchain. I do understand the world needs different ways of funding things, and I do think it's the future. I do think what's going to happen is whatever business you're in, anybody who creates anything, right, will say, well, why am I giving this to somebody to sell? Why do I need a shop? Why do I need a distribution company? Why do I need somebody doing this for me? Why don't I just distribute it myself? You know, and more things are becoming digital now. So I think physical assets, you're always going to need shops, or you're always going to need Amazon or whoever. But if you look at most of the content we're consuming, it's digital. You know, most people watch their films digitally. Most people listen to their music digitally. You know, I know there's a sort of retro comeback where people are buying records again and tapes. But the reality is most people will spend $9.99 a month, and on their iPhone will be part of Apple Music, and they'll be listening to as much music as they want for free, which is great for them, but bad for the people that are making the music, because they're obviously not getting paid properly. So I think the musicians have already started to say, we're going to NFT our albums. We're not dealing with the record labels anymore. I mean, you know, I think everybody in a studio, whether it's music, whether it's film, the streamers, I think, you know, this particular shift in what's going on, it is going to be worrying for them, because they'll probably be thinking now, well, you know, we got all these people, we're doing all this stuff, but you know, once you know a few people start doing it, and they start realizing there's an alternative way of doing things, that's when, you know, things change. And you know, if we can make a film, you know, for £1 million, £2 million, and we can monetize that film within 12 months and make a profit on it, you know, people are going to start saying, well, I normally have to wait 3 years to get paid. I normally have to wait 5 years to get paid. Sometimes I never get any money back, you know. And, you know, if you're a director or a writer, like you rightly said earlier, John, you could spend 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years of your life developing or pulling together this movie.
And then you don't get paid.
And then if it doesn't get made, or if it does get made and it doesn't make any money, you've got to go back to the drawing board and do the process again. And that's why a lot of people in the film business are skin, right? Because they live hand to mouth, because, you know, they're always waiting for, you know, the statement that tells them they've made some money. And, you know, so it's a tough business to make money at. And I think with this, you know, if you hold Film Coin worldwide, and we tell you your Film Coin has made this film, even if you don't have any interest in watching the film, because it's made with your Film Coin and because it's an NFT, you will buy that Film Coin, you will buy that movie. And even if you just buy it because you think, well, for £10, I'll buy that anyway, and it's an investment. So, you know, that's what we're banking on. And we're also going to do things through our NFT platform where people can get walk-on parts in movies. They can buy premiere tickets. They can get a copy of the script, a copy of the soundtrack. You know, there's going to be so many things.
If they're a member of Film Coin, let's say, and they've, you know, Film Coin has done one of your movies, well, then they might get, you know, the opportunity to go to a film premiere or something like that.
Yeah, the platform that we're building, John, will actually sit alongside Film Coin, and you know, all the people that go onto our NFT platform to buy NFTs will transact with Film Coin and or fiat currency with a credit card. So they will all be able to access all of the, you know, people would pay money to be in a film. People would pay money to walk up a red carpet. People would pay money for their daughter to have a credit in a movie, or to work on a film, or their son to, you know, get a speaking part in a film. So we're going to make all of these things available.
Well, I think also, think about it, all those kids going to film school, I mean, wouldn't they like to apprentice on an actual movie?
Absolutely. And that's what we're going to be offering, John. So we're going to probably have about 50, maybe 55 different things that people can buy and own for each film we make. And there'll be opportunities for people to get their names on the films, to get walk-on parts in the films, to work on the films, to buy the films, the soundtracks, the posters. So there'll be so many opportunities. And I think, you know, people do this with crowdfunding, but they don't actually get anything back. You know, if you, you know, crowdfund a movie and put £500 in the end credits, you might get a little thing come up saying, oh, thanks, John, for your £500, but you don't really get anything out of it.
Waste of time.
Yeah, so this is like crowdfunding, but instead of people just not getting anything back, they're actually going to get film coin, or they're going to own an NFT, which they can obviously trade or sell at a later date. So we're just trying to come up with some different things. What we've done is we've looked at the business, we've seen what's wrong with the business, and we've just tried to fix it. And this, to me, seems like the most obvious way to do it. And I think when people will be skeptical about it. People will say, oh, will they really make a film with it? Oh, will it really go on the exchange? Blah, blah, blah. But we're doing it. So when they actually see it, they'll be like, oh, wow, it's gone on the exchange. Oh, wow, they're actually making a film. Oh, wow, there's an NFT platform. Oh, wow, they're doing everything they said they were going to do. And I think that's when it becomes super real. And that's when, we've had conversations. Courtney Semmel, who we mentioned her father earlier on, she's already been to America. She was there for 3 weeks over Christmas, and she went around and saw pretty much everybody you can think of that's in Hollywood and that's on TV and in film. And they were all blown away by it. And they said, this industry needs this. And they all said, once it's on the exchange and once you've, got your first film in production, come and see us because we want to do business. So they're all sort of, it's a little bit like when you make a film and you say to somebody, do you want to buy my film? And they say, we love the script, we love the actors, but we need to see something. So you show them the trailer and then they go, oh, the trailer looks great. We need to see the film. And then you show them the film and they go, okay, we'll buy it. But, there's always an element of caution because nobody wants to make the wrong choice and lose their job. And I think with us, we're not talking to Z-list people, we're talking to A-list people. And obviously A-list people aren't going to put their name to something unless they can see it, touch it, smell it, and they know it's real. I mean, if you look at what's happened recently in America, you've got people promoting these cryptocurrencies, and then, the founders just sell all their coins and run off. And then, and there's big people promoting these things. So people that don't need the money, so you sort of think, wow. And I know there's various lawsuits going on in America now where these sort of famous people have been promoting these, crypto scams. And unfortunately, it gives the crypto market a bad name. And I think, we're probably the only cryptocurrency NFT people that will actually say we want it to be regulated, because once it's regulated, 90% of probably all crypto will disappear, because most of these things have just been made for a laugh and just put on a platform somewhere and somebody's bought it. And look, if you buy it early and sell it early, people are making, 5 times their money, 10 times their money. But, we're not doing a get rich quick scheme. We're building a business here.
Yeah, because
that's really
the purpose to the product. And actually what you're doing is you're putting the blockchain to its correct use. And
absolutely. And I think everyone will do that, John. I think the governments will. I think the taxman will. I think everyone will, because if you imagine, if we all transacted on the blockchain, nobody would need an accountant, and nobody really would probably need a lawyer, because all that would happen is, you'd go out and you buy XYZ, or somebody would pay you ABC, and then it's all on the blockchain. So the taxman can say, oh, John, you've earned £10 this month. I'm having my 20% or my 50% or whatever it is. And, so everything could be done on a smart contract, and everybody knows what everybody's doing, what everybody's spending. I mean, from a surveillance perspective, it's probably not great for everybody that don't like their privacy being invaded. But if that happened, the taxman wouldn't need to have anybody working for him, because, it would just automatically collect the revenue.
Transparency cannot be a bad thing.
No, I think there's good and bad about it. But from my personal view, the only reason it's good for the film business is because it strips away any ambiguity. It means that nobody can go out. If somebody goes out of business tomorrow, we don't care, because if somebody's paid £10 for that film or £1,000 for that film, that money's been distributed. It's not sitting in a pot in a company somewhere, and we've got to wait 6 months for it and hope that the company doesn't go out of business or runs into financial problems. So I think what this does is protects, the money, and it means when any money is generated, people get paid instantly. And I think for our business, it's a great thing. But as I said, not every business will welcome this, but I think for what we're doing, I think it will revolutionise the business, and I think people would look at it and say, well, if Terry can make a low budget, pretty much independent low budget film, and can generate that much money off of something with no big actors in, but it's just got a good story, then what would happen if Martin Scorsese or Steven Spielberg did it? So then that would then make them start thinking, well, maybe
you're actually, if Martin Scorsese is watching, which you never know, he may be. He's a great fan of Camelot Castle.
Right.
I don't know if he is or isn't, but here's the thing: is if he were watching this, he could say, "Hang on, I could use the blueprint of FilmCoin to actually fund my next movie." And you've already put the infrastructure in place for the platform, so he wouldn't have to work out for himself how to structure the crypto whatever. This is essentially add water and mix. This is a plug and play platform for any filmmaker out there. This is not just to make your films, is it, Terry?
Correct. And the beautiful thing is,
we're talking about FilmCoin, everybody. There's the link. Go and read all about it. Thefilmcoin.io. And for those of you that just recently joined us, it's a very Terry Stone is fantastic. He disrupted the entertainment business. He was the founder of the rave movement. What was it called? One Nation, your thing?
Yeah, Garage Nation, One Nation and Garage Nation, yeah.
Garage Nation, One Nation. Those of you that were part of that rave scene will remember that. And then, of course, he has made over 33 privately independently funded films, and now he is going to disrupt the filmmaking process again by introducing the FilmCoin, which is launching on Monday. Is that right?
Yeah.
So if you want to be in the preferential launch or whatever, but are you fully subscribed or not? Are you fully subscribed?
We did a 20% discounted round, John, and they all sold out. And now what we're saying to people is register. But we've had thousands of people registering, so we're going to do another. They call them drops. We're going to do another drop before the release, so people will still be able to get in at a discount. But then, most people, if they want to buy, they can buy on Monday when it goes on chain, and they can literally watch it go up or go down or stand still.
Sorry, I'll tell you one of the reasons I'm doing this, because I want to learn as I go along. So I always think if you've got a little bit of something, I'm just having a small pump with it, right? But it's going to force me to pay attention to what you're doing, right? And I'm going to be watching my FilmCoin go up and down. I'm going, okay, well, what caused that and what caused that? And, the first person that told me about NFTs was Kim.com, who's a very interesting guy, lives down in New Zealand. And he told me that Paris Hilton's going to be doing NFTs. And so,
she's massive.
And I said, come on, Kim, I'm not going to invest in Paris Hilton's NFTs. Big mistake. I should have invested in her NFTs. She's done amazingly well, and she's partnered up with some of the best people in the business. But even when you look at her products, other than their works of art, and they're beautiful, and I'm a great admirer of Paris Hilton and her ability to market and attract attention to things, I don't see the use. Whereas yours, I get the use of it. There is an absolute purpose for a new distribution method. And how do I know that? Because as a filmmaker and as a writer, I ran into horrible, unfair barriers in Hollywood. So I think that's super. And I think the entire community will think that this is wonderful, because I think it will result in more work across the world. And I think it also will result in, people don't realize this, but India, funnily enough, has a huge, huge film business and obviously different funding methods. But what's to stop Switzerland having a film business? What's to stop, what it does is it actually disperses the ability to make, what's to stop Iceland from having a film business? What's to stop Scotland from having a film business? We could have, I don't know what we'd have, Lock, Stock and Three Smoking Barrels starring Nicholas. Anyway, but what my point is that it opens up the game to far more people. And And if you can tell a good story, which you clearly can, Terry, and I'm sure there are other people out there that can tell good stories that just don't have a way of.
Yeah.
You've always got to make more money than you spend in life, haven't you? And so the goal
Yeah.
of ability, even if you can just make a film wash its face, then that's a start. And if you can make it
Well,
be good,
I think also what this does, John, is this is going to give opportunities to people to make the films they want to make. And, once upon a time, anybody could set up a company, request EOS or SEOS relief, raise money for a film, or TV show or whatever, get some tax relief. And then people would go, well, I'll put some money into it, because they knew even if it didn't work, they'd only lose probably 20% of their money. And I think that was the big driver for people investing in independent films. And I think obviously when the government took that away, they've changed the rules now, where they've said, well, if you're going to make 5 independent films and put them all in one company, then we'll let you have the reliefs. But the whole point of it is that you demonstrate that you're growing a business. That's why you get the reliefs. But obviously, you could make 5 films and they could all lose money. So if you made the 5 films and lost money, you wouldn't be able to grow the business. You wouldn't be able to employ anybody. So the whole way the rules are now, is anti-independent filmmaking. So it then forces people to go cap in hand to, broadcasters or streamers or studios or film investors. And then it's like, well, there's the money, but this is what we want you to do. This is how we want you to make it. These are the changes we want. And look, and people will make the changes and do as they're told because they want to make the film. But our whole thing is, look, we made a film called Rise of the Foot Soldier Origins, and it wasn't politically correct. It wasn't ticking any boxes. It was just a raw British crime film set in the 80s and, and the early 90s. And that film has been one of the most successful British films this year. Last year, because it was released in September last year. And, they didn't spend a lot of money on making it. That film was developed in lockdown. It was funded in lockdown. It was released as we was coming out of lockdown. Did it get any critical acclaim? Did BAFTA say, well, you know what? This has been made through blood, sweat and tears? No, they just overlooked it and they wouldn't even consider it for an award. But for me, it probably doesn't deserve to win a BAFTA, but it should have been nominated because it was an outstanding British film. The distributor said that no film that they've released in their sort of 15 years of being in business has done the business that's done on what's called the premium video on demand window. So that to me shows a lot of people watched the film. A lot of people liked the film. The premiere was, we had 1,000 people in Leicester Square. It's out of the 5 films in the series, this one has been the most successful. But if you was going to do it on merit, that film should have got a lot more merit because of the fact that we were locked down and we somehow developed the script, somehow raised the money over the telephone because you weren't allowed to go out. And then,
so you weren't, but Boris didn't help you out by doing a fundraising party up at Downing Street?
No, I did write him a letter, but he didn't actually, which I was a bit upset about. But I'd,
I'm surprised not there partying with the rest of them.
Yeah.
Anyway, no. I mean, it's an amazing achievement. And for those of you that haven't seen Rise of the Foot Soldier, where can they see that film?
You can watch it on any platform now. Rise of the Foot Soldier Marbella was a film that I just starred in. It wasn't a film I produced or was involved in financially, but that goes on Netflix tomorrow. That's good fun. If you've got Netflix, watch that. And tomorrow, and the Rise of the Foot Soldier Origins. Obviously, I'm in that. Keith Allen's in that. Vinnie Jones is in that. And that is that's available on every platform. BT, Amazon, Apple. Yeah, you can watch it on.
While I've got you here, Terry, I do a very, very good gangster. I can go full on gangster. So if ever you need, what I would call a really hardcore gangster that can put the shivers up the spine of your audience, you know exactly where to come. So I just, being.
Well, no, John, I want to sign you up, but there is a caveat. I need to film in Camelot Castle for free. So if you put the castle in as a filming location,
no problem.
I'll make you a movie star.
No problem. Well, it's long overdue. Long overdue. Terry, it's such a pleasure to have you with us. Such a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much for
And
having me on,
for
John.
those of you who've been talking about FilmCoin, there's the website. I'm not recommending it. I put my cards on the table. I have had a punt, small investment, and that's our position. It may make money. It may not make money. Don't blame me if it doesn't make money. Don't blame Terry if he doesn't make money, because, you know, what I can assure you is that I know Terry. We know each other socially. I would say we're well acquainted and perhaps borderline becoming friends, I would say. That's how I would describe
Absolutely.
it, right? We were introduced by somebody who I trust and like very much indeed. And, you know, here's the thing. This is all part of the adventure of life at the moment. I think what you're doing is amazing. We wish you every possible success with the launch. We're going to be with you all the way. And what we have to realize, this is a journey that the whole world is on right now. The whole world is exploring blockchain and is exploring NFTs and is trying to understand, well, what is this all? Well, hopefully tonight's show has given us all a little bit more insight, and you can follow it up. And that people just reach out to you through the website, do they?
Absolutely, yeah. There's an email button. You can email us. You know, they can, you know, register if they want to go in for the discounted round, or on Monday, they can go on chain and go on fmfw.io and buy them on chain if they want. So yeah, we've made it as simple as we can for everybody to jump on the bandwagon and get involved. And as I said, there's nothing like this in the world at the moment. We think it's going to be great, and that's why we're doing it. You know, and next week we're going to find out. So watch this space, John.
Let's see what happens, and we'll look forward to celebrating with you if it works well. Fantastic.
Yeah,
Terry,
brilliant.
Thanks,
John.
So much indeed.
Thank you. Lovely talking to you, John. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
So that was Terry Stone, and as I say, full disclaimer, this is something that we've taken an interest in. I'm sharing it with you because I share an awful lot of things with you, our friends here at Camelot Castle, and let's see what happens. Could work out, might not. Some things work, some things don't. Anyway, lovely to see you, and we will see you again soon. All the very best from Camelot Castle, and keep fighting for your freedom. Keep fighting for your freedom. So important. We love you.